Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on tonight's conversation, we're honored to welcome back to the show Newport News Mayor Phillip Jones, good buddy of mine, and again, a friend of the show. Tonight, we're going to be discussing a little bit of everything. Could you believe it's already been 4 years? He's completed a first term as the mayor of Newport News. So we're going to be discussing all of the great stuff that has been occurring in the city, one of the largest cities in Hampton Roads. And, what's next, right? The city of Newport News have hit so many records, again, under the leadership of Mayor Phillip Jones. And I know because he's an extremely humble guy. It takes a team to do what he did. But, I've always been an admirer and a fan of Mayor Phillip Jones. Look, I'm a Chesapeake guy, so I always say, man, it would be nice if we had a couple of Phillip Jones in the city. But it's no disrespect to our mayor. We got some great folks out there serving. And I know most of them, of course, on city council and our mayor, and we, I consider them friends, but Mayor Phillip Jones, for one, he was the youngest elected in the city at the age of 33. Now, look, I'm 31 now. I could not imagine, being an elected official at the age of 33. I couldn't do it. I already have gray right now, and I'm not even an elected official. So I'm just saying, this man, it's something good over there happening in Newport News. But as I mentioned, y'all, we're going to be joined by Newport News Mayor Phillip Jones as he seeks a second term leading one of the Hampton Roads' largest cities. Now, during his first term, the city has seen investments in infrastructure, a reported reduction in gun violence, the rollout of innovation technology like drones as first responders, and efforts to boost economic development, and community engagement. So, as you know, every election is also about accountability. So we'll discuss what the mayor believes has gone right, and if you don't mind, what challenges remain and why he believes the voters should seek him for a second term. Because again, he's saying, hey, look, I want to continue the mission of what we started, and I would love to serve as the mayor for another term. So it's going to be a great conversation as always, my friends, and that's what we bring to you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Of course, y'all, I got to thank you all, the listeners, the viewers out there, for tuning in to yet another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I believe this is episode 628. You know how to tune into new episodes. We drop new episodes weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all podcast platforms. As you know, we're kind of in I wouldn't say a new phase. We're just a little more freer now. I've been thrilled and honored to have our show aired on not one, not two, but three prominent radio markets: Las Vegas, New Orleans, as well as the Atlanta area. And it's been a great run with those stations, and I still consider them family, especially along this media journey. But I said, you know what, I think we need to, push out a little more just freedom, right? We want to make this as comfortable as possible, not just for our guests, but for you, the listeners, man. We talk a little bit of everything when it comes to sports, pop culture. I hope that this show can be of somewhat of a guide for those who are a little foreign from politics, and especially local government, right? Because not a lot of folks really enjoy politics or enjoy local government, but I bring in guests, again, like Mayor Phillip Jones and folks that are involved in the local government space, so we can have those conversations. Then after you listen or watch this show, you'll be like, I want to know more about, who serves our clerk of court, or who serves our who's our city manager. I want to get more involved. I want to have that knowledge. So that's the one of the biggest missions here on this show, is to not only just spread great conversations, because hey, as an independent myself, I'm friends with everybody. So we have folks from all political aisle, all different backgrounds, and it's just so much fun, man. It's just so much fun. But a reminder, ways you can support the show by subscribing to our channel. If you have not done so yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are growing in our subscriptions each and every day with the thanks. I want to thank you all again with that, but help spread it, with friends and family, because we want to continue to grow this channel and grow the message out here of the Arrington Gavin Show. Bold opinions, real talk, and of course unfiltered. At the bottom of the screen here, you see we have our social media handles. So follow us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. You can also follow us on X at the AG Show Live. All right. And then you can also check out our website, help keep you up to speed on upcoming shows. And if you want to contact me, say hi, or if you have a topic you would like to hear discussed on this show, feel free to send me an email. All you have to do is visit our website, www.theagshow.com. And also I want to throw in too, because I was raised with parents that taught me hey, the way you were blessed is always great to be a blessing to others. And y'all, one of the biggest I guess accomplishments for me, and something I always enjoy, is giving back to the community. And the Rugged Evolution Foundation, we're having our seventh annual back school giveaway happening in August 29th. And we are just thrilled because we have given out, to about 3,700 families as of right now and counting. We've given out backpacks filled with school supplies, brand new shoes, free haircuts, you name it. We got so much stuff happening, free face painting. We got the hair salon set up for the girls. So we have so much stuff happening this year. And if you want to know more information about the Rugged Evolution Foundation, here is our website. Here's a QR code at the top, but for those who are listening, it is the ruggedevolutionfoundation.org, the ruggedevolutionfoundation.org for more information if you love to contribute. Again, we're here to give back to our youth in the Hampton Roads community, because the sad thing is, y'all, we have communities that feel a bit overlooked, and we want to make sure that, hey, look, we see you, we hear you, and we want to at least help in some form or capacity that we can. So again, y'all, I've always said it like this: it's great to be a blessing to others, because we can always say, oh, I'm having a bad day, I'm this and the other, and just know, hey, someone has it way worse than you. So that's my spiel with why everyone is a must, that we all need to give back to those in need. All righty, fam. I think that is all. Look, I think we're gonna head to a quick commercial break, man. Look, don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not change that dial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're going to bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Goat Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, college player of the year, all-rookie standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolves. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care.
I'm Aaron Phillips. Join me Saturdays at 12:30 as I host The Voice of 757. I'll share news, events, happenings, and the people that shape the 757. That's The Voice of 757, Saturday afternoon at 12:30 right here on Sky 4.
All right, family, and shout out to my guy, Aaron Phillips, man. Host, remember I was a guest on his show, The Voice of 757. It's a awesome local weekly show out here in the Hampton Roads area. Well, I think it reaches in some parts of Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. But I was on his podcast earlier today, and this man blessed me with so much great merch. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. I got the mug right here, and don't ask me what's in the mug. That's none of y'all business. All right, that's none of y'all business. But he also, so Aaron is from Las Vegas, right? And so you know how everybody normally has business cards, to hand out, business cards or digital business cards. Let me tell you something. This man is Las Vegas through and through. So this guy gave, I'm pulling him up to see. So he pulled up chips. He has literally get like the I guess the crap chips or whatever that you at a casino with. And so it has his business information on these poker chips. And I'm like, what in the world? So it was funny because I had a bunch of chips in my pocket and I came out the car and all the chips fell. And somebody looked at me like, I'm like, no. Trust me, it's business cards. Like, yeah, they're like, it's just sad. I'm like, I felt so judged. So I gotta thank my buddy Aaron Phillips for that, for giving me all these poker chips. But again, shout out to my guy Aaron Phillips, the voice. Really, he is a Hall of Fame, radio Hall of Famer, Las Vegas radio Hall of Famer, and some guy, a gentleman who I look up to and hope to continue to build a career just like his. But folks, as I mentioned earlier, we're thrilled and honored to have on the 27th mayor of Newport News. He was the youngest elected in city's history at the age of 33. Not only is he serves the city of Newport News, but he also serves his country in the Marine Corps. Graduate of Harvard University and United States Naval Academy. Friend of the show, you know him, you love him. None other than the one and only Mayor Phillip Jones. Mayor Jones, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, brother, I really appreciate I think this is the second or third time I've been on the show. Becoming a habit. We'll do it again next year.
Oh, love it, man. Well, look, I always appreciate, again, thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule, because busy is what you are, okay? It's not easy doing what you do. And I mentioned earlier in the program, Newport News have seen great growth, and which is, I mean, again, you have a great team of folks behind you, but I got to give flowers to leadership as well, because I'm a person, and it's never any disrespect to a lot of our elected officials out there, but I've always been a stickler of, younger voices, new voices, and just to say, hey, look, give us a chance, please, just give us a chance. I'm telling you, we have great ideas. So I'm thrilled to see, all the great stuff when I hear on the local news of what's going on in Newport News. I'm like, that's right. So yes, and then on top of that too, a good mutual friend of ours, Kate Powell, says hi. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's like, I love Mayor Phillips. He's awesome. I'm like, don't we all?
Kate for the people. She's good people.
That's exactly. She sure is, man. But look, again, thank you for coming on. I want to get it going with the conversation. Look, it's first term is almost up, man. I mean, it's been 4 years already. And to kind of remind folks, just for some of our newer listeners, what first, got you involved to say, hey, look, I think I see the vision. I would love to help serve the city of Newport News in the mayoral side. Again, 33 years old. So before that, you're probably younger when you were thinking about it, right? Because it takes time to have that thought process. But how was that whole journey from when you said it, look, I think I want to do this, and now you're seeking a second term?
It's a crazy story. Honestly, I always wanted to come back to my community. My mom and dad were both Air Force pilots. They retired at Langley Air Force Base, which is in Hampton, for those who don't know. So I've always been a native son of the peninsula, Hampton, Newport News, sort of moving back and forth. When I was at grad school, I heard the news that Mayor McKinley Price, who, shout out to Mayor Price, I mean, to be mayor for 12 years, that burden, that weight, you cannot imagine. I don't know how he did it for 12 years. So shout out to Mayor McKinley Price. But Mayor Price put it out. He said, hey, I'm not running for re-election. I want everyone to know now, so that way you can have some time to sort of run a real campaign. I'd always planned to come home, whether it was to start a black bank, which is known as a CDFI, or to give back in some way. And I saw politics as the natural extension to service. At the end of the day, it's just about service. The title, all that is fake. At the end of the day, it's when you wake up, how can I improve the quality of life for all residents of Newport News? Those that voted for me and those that did not. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want hope for our children, a great education, clean streets, a low homicide rate, and a lot of fun and culture in the city. And so that's sort of the impetus for why I ran for mayor. I thought that Newport News had a lot of great ideas, but like a giant jigsaw puzzle, we never really put it together. And it was a combination of not just the mayor, but sometimes you get different people on city council that don't really mesh. Sometimes you're in COVID, or you have macroeconomic trends that are sort of pushing you away. So it's no one's fault. It's just we hadn't really put the formula together. And I thought that I had a new perspective to do it. And so it has been a wild 4 years. There have been a lot of highs, a lot of lows. But I want to say thank you to my team. Thank you to the city staff, the administration side of the house. Thank you to the school board and the city council. Those are my sisters and brothers, and we don't always get along, but we all have and want the best for our city.
And I will say, and I've been there firsthand on seeing just the bond and relationships amongst a variety of different folks in Newport News, whether it's your vice or city council, or even on the state level. I mean, it's a certain bond. It's almost like. Okay, maybe I'm showing my age, but there used to be an old cartoon show called Recess that I used to watch a lot when I was a kid, and I'm like, I feel like I'm watching Recess. Like, you're not just having fun, but you're also coming together with different ideas and saying, look, we're always going to be supporting one another. We might not all agree at the same time, but I come in a room and there's folks from different sides of the aisle where you don't see that a lot, at least on a national level, which eventually affects state and local, where they're like, hey, folks from opposing parties, you can't hang out, you can't talk. No, it's like you have one common goal, and that's the overall outcome of the people of Newport News. I want to ask, if you don't mind sharing, was it kind of difficult, again, being not just a newly elected mayor, but a 33-year-old mayor? Again, was that a little difficult for, say, some of the folks who have been in the position before serving, saying, what does this young guy know? What do we know? You know what I mean? Like, was there ever moments like that? And you don't have to share. But
no, I love the idea to be sort of transparent. So was it difficult because of my age? No, it was difficult because when we came in, and I try to use language we, because it wasn't just me, it was a team of new city council. And it doesn't matter if there's one new person or two. Once you add a different person, it's a whole new formula. It's a whole new dynamic. So when we came in at the end of 2022, I had no idea what next year was going to hold. And if you remember, we had the very first school shooting in America, January 6th, 2023. So it was difficult because, look, I have all these plans, right? You see the books behind me. I had the plan for, like, in the first 100 days, we're going to do this and audit this and do this. And next thing I know, I'm talking to parents as they try to rush to school and try to save their kids. It very quickly became, okay, we are in crisis mode in week one. Yeah. We need to really come together. And so I don't think it's any sort of like Mayor Jones has great leadership. I mean, maybe, but it's probably the fact of we had a forcing function of we had a school shooting and we no longer had the time to argue about small and trivial things. We had to put them aside as the leaders of the city, both the city council and the school board, and come together. And that's what we did. And I can remember the first city council meeting that we had. I took everyone to the back room, and the first thing we did was pray. Right. And I said, like, hey, we got. It's us in this room, and we need to make good decisions. It doesn't matter if we agree on everything. When we step outside and when the cameras watch us, we have to be a team. And so it wasn't, people weren't saying, oh, because he's young. It wasn't that. It was like, okay, we have a crisis. Let's get it done. And that's what we did as a team.
One thing I always ask Mayor Jones when, I ask candidates this, because again, you are seeking a second term. So you put in that candidate's role, even though you are the incumbent. I always say, hey, look, it's a fresh new race.
Yeah.
Prior to when you first ran, like, did the military help guide just kind of like that role? I'm always curious of qualifications it is to, hey, be, at least be a candidate. What's some of like the key qualifications that helped you along, through this process?
No, it's a really good question. And I failed to answer it in your last question, but every single thing leadership related that I learned either from my family or from the military. I was in the Marine Corps, really total of 14 years, 6 active duty, and I'm currently still serving. So 8 years in the reserve. I've commanded a company, over 200 people on 4 different continents. And so I think having that repetition in leadership really helped me in the role of mayor. It's the same thing, whether you're the captain of a sports team, a professor in your nonprofit, clergy, it all goes down to servant leadership and showing up for the people that you serve with. That's the name of the game. And so it wasn't a leadership struggle or a challenge. I just had to modify the way that I led. In the Marine Corps, it's more active leadership, while as mayor, it's more of like, okay, what policies and procedures. Now, you still have to show up when it matters, but it's more of a soft power, soft leadership thing, which took me a little bit of time to get. But 100%, I was prepared for the role because of the Marine Corps.
So I'm going to put myself in the position of, hey, my wife and I, we're looking for a new home in the Hampton Roads area. We're new to the Hampton Roads area, right? I see there's 7 cities and Newport News comes on my list. What is unique about Newport News? If you don't mind selling Newport News to our listeners, I mean, just describe some of the things in Newport News.
So it's funny. I can remember one of my first or second debates 4 years ago. They said, like, what is the role of mayor? And for all the audience, the role of mayor is nebulous. It can be whatever you make it, right? There are some mayors that across the country who are hyper local. Mm-hmm. They show up at everything. There are some that are always in DC trying to get legislation passed. There are some that are always in Richmond or the state capitol trying to get state dollars. There are some that just travel all around the country doing, whether it's military affairs or diplomacy, really special interest sort of things. Mm-hmm. And so I really tried to be jack of all trades, sort of master of none, and try to dabble in all of them. But when I became mayor, I realized that like what we needed the most in Newport News was a new brand and a new culture, right? We get the rep of bad news. And what I said in one of my very first speeches is, we're good news now. Only good things happen in Newport News. And so I travel around the country and I sell the city to developers, to different ideas. The goal for any city is to get a thriving middle class. And so we always try to get big companies, small and medium, to come to Newport News. So the pitch that I give is, listen, Hampton and Newport News, so I'll call it the peninsula. Mm-hmm. We are 20 or 30 years away from being the next Charlotte or the next Raleigh-Durham. Number one, think about the flooding. Look, I love you guys on the south side, but you guys flood down there.
Yes, sir. For sure.
You guys flood. I do not. Right. So that's number one. Number two, think about all of the, billions of dollars that are going into widening 95 from Richmond down, and how we're going to double the tunnel from Richmond to Virginia Beach. Newport News and Hampton are right in the middle of that. So that makes us now the new heartbeat. Okay. Number three, think about all of the roads, the infrastructure. We put $1 billion in the last 4 years into capital improvement plan. We are really doubling down on the foundation and the infrastructure for Newport News. And then I would say is just the culture, right? The culture and the economic development. I mean, we are the headquarters for the largest industrial employer in the state of Virginia, being the shipyard, right? So what that means is we have a 20-year backlog. We're going to have some funds coming to us. all we're really working on is the culture and the fun part. And, we're doing some things to really make it sort of not a younger crowd, but trying to encourage more families to come into Newport News. And so I tell everyone, if you are an investor, if you want to get in on the ground floor, I would purchase property in Newport News, because in 20 years, this thing's going to take off. It really will.
How many, just out of curiosity, what's the population in the city of Newport News? Just a ballpark, not exact, but.
Yeah, no, it's between 185,000, 190,000. We flex,
Okay, wow. Okay. So, wow. That's something new right there. Now, I want to talk about some of the accomplishments that happened during your first term. Now, you mentioned about the reduction of gun violence. I don't know if you mentioned it, or maybe I'm bringing it up first, but your administration has highlighted the significant reduction in gun violence and homicides. Now, to what do you attribute those improvements to? Or again, not you specifically, but that was a huge thing for not just Newport News, but really for Hampton Roads. Because I always say, I feel as though Hampton Roads, we're all one big happy family in general. So if violent reduction happens in your city, Chesapeake, we're cheering you on and we're happy for that. But that was a major deal. If you don't mind sharing, just some of those key accomplishments within your first term, starting with that one.
No, of course. I'm getting good at this. It's campaign time, so I'm starting to list a couple of things again. But for me, it's more, and I just want to remind everyone, it's not, hey, this is a Mayor Jones thing. This is a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I'll call this Team Newport News. I think as Team Newport News, we all understood from the very beginning that any thriving city has to be safe. Public safety has to be foundation for I can build the world's best skyscraper. I can bring Meta. I can bring all these companies here. It's got to be a safe city. And so the reason that we've had the lowest homicide rate in over a decade is due to leadership. It's a combination of our city manager, a combination of our police chief, our EMS, our fire chief, our sheriff. It really was an all hands on deck. I went on TV and I said, we don't need people to be spectators. It's all hands on deck. I don't care if you don't have a kid in the public school system. We are losing Black and brown children at the rapid rate. It is unacceptable. We all need to be held accountable. And then I gave my staff, we are going to reduce homicide 15% year over year. And that's what we've done. We have given more money than ever to nonprofits, those grassroots organizers who are on the ground, who do conflict resolution. Additionally, we created the Office of Community Safety. Shout out to Ms. Anithia White. She's doing a great job there. And so it's more than just let's add more police. It's let's add more police. Let's pay them better. Let's increase the morale. Let's bring in your nonprofits. Let's do community safety as an office to do like a wraparound service. And when there are shootings, let's show up in our community and let's hold people accountable. So that's like 8 or 9 different things. Mm-hmm. But all I know is that and probably the most important thing is we brought back the summer youth program, the job program. So what that means is kids, instead of being on the street or being bored, now the city will pay you, a certain amount of dollars, $15 an hour, to go work for this company. And so what that means is you're off the streets. We're giving you safe spaces. Like, that's what it is. So that's why the rate has dropped to, once again, the lowest amount, I think, in 14 years in Newport News. And that is a blessing.
Has other cities, and again, you can respond to this or not, but has other cities, after hearing that reduction, have they contacted you to again ask, hey, what can we adopt that was started here in Newport News, especially as far as with the reading program? Because I see that as a huge essential, especially as I mentioned early in the program, because with my community service work, we do to give back to youth. I mean, we're working on the mentorship programs. We care so much about the youth because, as you mentioned, young people, we're losing our young people, whether if it's to crime or to life. And it's disgusting me because I'm talking teen to preteen. And it's like, wow, that, a young life that's, should not have happened at all. But I'm just curious, has any cities had contacted to say, hey, look, how can we bring this to this community?
We have. I'm gonna give a shout out to the I think they call us the Magnificent Seven, which is not the name that I gave. I think that's either Mayor Bobby Dwyer or Kenny Alexander, Mayor Norfolk. Someone named the group that, but I would say is the 7 mayors talk frequently. We meet once a month. And yes, we've had a reduction over the last 4 years. This is now the 5th year, right? We actually have lower stuff. And so I think it's really getting all hands on deck. everyone is working together. You saw what happened in Virginia Beach with the shooting on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
We were there, we showed support, and then we used that to help our youth with our curfew, et cetera. So yes, other cities have reached out, but it's not just they reach out. Like, we're always constantly talking and working together.
That's awesome, and I'll shout out Mayor Bobby Dyer. It's probably him, because I had the opportunity to interview Mayor Bobby Dyer, and he's very personally like, call me Bobby D, call me Bob. And I'm like, and shout out to really all the mayors, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Mayor Kenny Alexander out of Norfolk, mayor in my home city, Chesapeake, Mayor Rick West.
Rick is great, man. It's great, and I love it because it's completely bipartisan, right? We're not gonna agree on everything, but those guys, we show up for each other.
And I think that's for me, and again, I mentioned, my listeners know I line in the middle. I'm friends with everybody. I believe in bipartisanship, because I don't, you have to come together to really bring out the greatness and really bring out those ideas, because everybody has a different, I wouldn't say thought process, but it's just always great to come together and, be one team. And I think that with the unity amongst all the mayors can definitely, have to be spread around, around this United States, because it's helpful. It's great to see the bipartisanship. Some more of your accomplishments, or more of the accomplishments from Team Newport News, amongst is the nearly $1 billion in capital improvement plan.
Yeah.
If you don't mind sharing with our listeners the big picture behind that vision, because that was everybody saw that price, they're like, whoa, that is awesome. But if you don't mind expanding on that.
Yeah, so I'll speak to the largest. So before this administration, the largest thing that we've got invested from the federal government was our CNI grant. That's when Secretary Ben Carson came down, and that's how we completely basically paid for how downtown is a brand new city, right? It's renovated. It's like, mixed income housing. I think it was about, 60 to $100 million, right? We're going to announce it here pretty soon, and you might have already seen the press, but we have been negotiating this deal, and we are going to have a $450 million federal investment in the city of Newport News. This will be the largest investment ever in the history of Newport News from the federal government and the states. And this is bipartisan. This is to build new Navy housing, and more than just Navy housing to house a couple thousand sailors. You're also going to be able to have stores and commerce are going to be on the downstairs floor. There's going to be a pool. There's going to be a track. So people always say, like, oh, how does this affect me? Well, if we're able to have more economic development, that's how we're going to be able to eventually, over time, lower the tax rate. Lower the tax rate, people will do a good job. So it's this sort of chicken and egg circular thing. But whether it's Bon Secours that did a $200 million expansion, Navy housing, $40 to $50 million, we've doing 3 or 4 housing projects, fire stations, police stations, over $1 billion invested in Newport News over the last 4 years. That's insane. Is it the most ever? I don't know. But that Navy housing deal is the single most money ever invested in the city. That is a win for the entire city. Republicans, Democrats, independents, a strong military and a strong defense sector is going to be good for the city of Newport News. And so what I tell everyone is, this is a narrative. This is a story. The story is, over the last 4 years, we've seen the lowest homicide rate in the last decade. That is a fact. We've seen the most money invested in economic development. That is a fact. Number 3 is, my favorite, is we've actually increased transparency for the city of Newport News. If you recall, 4 years ago, Newport News was the only city that did not televise the work sessions, right? It was like, if you don't come, sorry, behind closed doors.
Wow.
Not only do we now televise work sessions, we have an open FOIA portal. So you may, hey, what's the mayor doing? You can FOIA all my information. Additionally, I'm one of the only mayors that puts all of my receipts and my stocks, everything that you need, public. And so I think government should be transparent. So we did that. And then the last thing I'll say is the schools. This is not a Phillip Jones thing. This is a Team Newport News thing. Is we have given the schools the most amount of money ever. I think over $200 million in the budget. And what we've seen is the highest teacher salaries. We've seen the highest graduation rate. I think we're at 97% of our kids graduate. And yes, we're always going to have work to do, especially when it comes to enrollment. But at the end of the day, we have supported our teachers, our schools, and our school board. So it's a combination of low homicide rate, most money ever in economic development, highest school graduation rate, as well as being open and transparent. In my mind, that's a winning formula.
I want to talk a little more on that transparent, because transparency is like my word of the year right now. I come across a lot of different groups, especially young people. And look, I can, say it might have started in the previous presidential election, where there was really a low voting turnout during that. Even on local, voting turnout is always back and forth, right? You see a number maybe increase very slowly but surely, but still it can be improved a lot. At least I can speak for Chesapeake. I think the voting turnout should be a lot higher than what it is, because when you look at the number of registered voters, but then you look at the turnout, I'm like, math ain't mathing. But sometimes you can't blame voters, because they do feel like the lack of transparency amongst their elected officials and the community. And so I appreciate you focusing on that transparency and being very upfront, because it's sad when I come across folks that like, I don't even know who serves what position. I don't know. Wait, it's an election? What is early voting? And it's unfortunate. I guess I want to ask, Mayor Jones, why do you think that's still a flaw that occurs, just in general, like in society? Why do you think, folks now are still, fighting for a transparent leader, whether they're, mayor, city council, clerk of court, city manager? I mean, they want transparency, and they're still asking for it in 2026.
Yeah. I think people want a fairness standard. They don't want the feeling that like someone is, pulling the wool over their eyes or hurting them, etc. But I also want to be clear, part of it lies with the citizens. And there's a quote, I think it's Jefferson or Franklin, so don't quote me, but it's the duties and responsibilities of a well-informed electorate are a prereq to democracy. So what that means is a well-informed electorate. And so if you don't show up to meetings, if you don't watch the televised YouTube, if you don't go to the planning commission, if you don't come to the 25 boards or commissions, you're going to feel disengaged. I think it's our responsibility to make it easier for people to feel invested in their community and invested in their government. And so transparency is not, hey, you may disagree with me, right? But if I have open meetings, you can come, you don't show up, well, then that's going to be on you, right? We try to be very transparent. We try to, and a perfect example of this is, I know we weren't going to sort of talk about it, but you can see with the Noodle Festival, right? The Thinkers Convention is like, hey, we wanted to hit a ROI. We didn't quite hit it. Doesn't matter. We published it and we set it out. We didn't sit on it. Like, we do that for multiple things, whether it's a cop shooting and there's body cam footage, whether someone happened and they made a mistake, whether it's economic development, whether it's the NDAs that I signed, like whatever it is, we try to be very transparent, because if you lose that trust, what's the point of this? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One last thing I want to talk about as far as when it comes to the, accomplishments in the city. One of the biggest announcements from your administration, from Team Newport News, has been the deployment of drones as first responders. Now, this was something interesting when I was reading about that. So if you don't mind explaining the system works in practice and how that changes emergency response in Newport News.
Yeah. So once again, it was not my idea, but I signed off on it along with city council. And so what I will say is, yes, it's cool being like the youngest mayor in Hampton Roads, but what that means is, but it's more than that. What it means is that people expect you to be, well, you're young, you to have the new ideas. And so innovation is like sort of the theme. So it's more than just drones, right? We have a new innovation center. We hired a chief, and I think we were one of the only cities in Hampton Roads to have a chief innovation officer, right?
Okay.
A young guy, shout out to Marlon, right? Who's out there at the cutting edge. I don't know if you know this, we're the only city, I think, to take crypto, to take Bitcoin, right? So there are certain things that we're doing to push the envelope, whether it's a chatbot, how we use Claude, how we use AI, et cetera. So in my mind, this drones is just the latest step in innovation. And so we got it from our two chiefs, like, hey, we need to find a better way. Instead of putting a firefighter in a burning building, is there a way to get a drone there first, right? Hey, we're getting into too many accidents. Can we get a drone there first? And so the idea is we still have humans on the scene, and it's not going to be a big brother sort of thing, but instead of me putting a cop or a firefighter in a bad position, how can I put a drone there first? And so we're really trying to be at the vanguard of innovation, not just in chatbots or or Bitcoin or what we're doing with transparency, but leading on all fronts, because a city that constantly innovates is going to be a successful city.
For sure, for sure. You mentioned publicly that you are seeking a second term. I want to ask, again, what was the thought process behind or the reasons for seeking a second term? Because and you're an open book, again, being transparent. You so many things have happened in your first term, right? Married, became a father, right? Yeah. And you're still continuing to do you and team Newport News overall is doing great work in the city of Newport News. But you announced that you're running for re-election. If you don't mind sharing the thought process behind that decision, because it is a big decision. Hey, I think I want to do this another 4 years. So how was that decision, and why seek a second term?
Yeah, I think as mayor, there are so many projects that we've started that I want to see to their completion. Mm-hmm. The theme for my campaign 4 years ago was "Come build with me." We are still building. There is so much more that I want to get done. And I've always said, I believe mayor is an 8-year sort of job. I think anything more than that, you start to plateau in terms of your skill set as well as your enthusiasm for the job. So I've always seen it as a 2-term role. I would be so blessed to do this role again. It has been the honor of my life to serve as the mayor of my hometown. But more importantly, I love Team Newport News. And I don't know if it's been published yet. It may have been. But what I'm most excited about as I launch this re-election is that I'm the first mayor to have every single member of city council endorse me, which to me is not a reflection on me, it's a reflection of the team. And so, yes, I have more endorsements come in, et cetera, but to have every single person that I have served with from both parties endorse to be the first one, it makes me really, words can't describe it. Like, that team has been good to me, and I would love to continue to help serve the city with them.
Now, in this upcoming, re-election, you have 2 opponents, both 2 experienced elected officials, one that has served the city council, one that has served on a state level. Without attacking either candidate personally, what distinguishes your vision for Newport News from the opposing? Like, why should the voters say, I think I'm gonna lean towards Mayor Phillip Jones on this case? If you don't mind, sharing.
I would encourage everyone to look at what do they want for the future of Newport News. I tell everyone there were some things that were promised, and we have delivered on every single one, whether it's your homicide rate, whether it's your economic development, whether it's your education, whether it's the green space. I think we're batting over 85%. Things can always be better, but it has been an honor. I think 4 years ago, it was a different race. No one had ever served as mayor, right? There was 3 people that were on city council. Mm-hmm. The role of mayor is distinct in itself. It's different than being on city council. It's different than being a state rep. And I continue to go back to the team to be the first mayor to have not only the endorsement of the former mayor of Newport News, but the entire city council. What that means is that the people that work with me on a day-to-day basis could have picked anyone. They could have stayed out of it. But for them to say, not only are we doubling down, but this is the guy we want on the team, I think that speaks volumes. And so what I would tell everyone is, I actually don't care who you vote for. I really want you just to go out to be informed and to vote. And hopefully we run this back one last time.
If reelected, Mayor, what is the single biggest project or initiative that you want to at least see or hopefully accomplish during the second term that simply couldn't be completed during the first? You mentioned a lot, so I know it's going to be kind of difficult, but if something, anything that comes to mind, what would it be?
Yeah, 2, it'd be the schools and the airport. So it's time for the schools to get completely renovated. It's going to be, I don't even know, over $400-500 million. But whether it's the construction of the new middle school, Huntington, which, I was there for the groundbreaking. I would love to be there when those kids walk in. Whether it's Minchville and Warwick, completely renovating that. Whether it's the airport, pivoting from PHF into Air Commerce Park, whether we got some things on the airport, which I can't tell here, but are going to come out the next month or so. But in my mind, we've started these projects. I've groundbroke on probably 4 or 5 big housing developments. I would love to be the guy, along with Team Newport News, to actually get there and watch people enter those schools and join those neighborhoods. And so mayor is always an 8-year job in my book. It's been a great 4 years. I would love to do it again.
Few more questions because I know you got to go. for one, this is not a question. This is a shout out to Team Newport News. So I'm avid traveler. Either my wife always picks on me because I'm like, if it's more than a 2-hour drive, I'm either flying or taking a train. I love taking the Amtrak. I had forgotten that the Newport News Amtrak got renovated. I'm just like, I was leaving from DC or something. And man, let me just tell you, shout out to Team Newport News, because by far, and don't tell Kenny this, but I will say, I don't know, y'all's is a bit better. I'm just saying, it's spacious, it's clean. Man, I was like, where is this Newport News? And I want to shout out because I take the train a lot, and I have forgotten. I think that might have occurred under your first term, if I'm not mistaken.
It did. So it's funny going back to that. I did not start that project. That's a Mayor McKinley Price project.
Okay, awesome.
I just happened to end it. So just like that, we've started like 7 projects. I would love to be at the completion. Granted, if it's another mayor, no worries. I'll still show up and support it. But shout out to Mayor Price. And like, to be honest, I know we're almost at time, but I can list 10 different things that we've done, whether it's workforce development or the Amtrak station or the airport.
Go ahead, share them. Look, we're a podcast. We like having fun here on the show. There is no time here. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like you can go to the website phillipjones.com. It's got everything listed. But we won for the first time ever All America City. Right, we've never ever done that. The workforce development with Virginia Peninsula Community College and the trades to get more people at the shipyard. I mean, I think we're really firing on all cylinders. We're firing on all cylinders, not because of one person, but because everyone has their role, whether it's John or Tina or Rob or Marcellus or Curtis or Cleon or Alan, it really is a team and a family in Newport News. Everyone has their roles and responsibilities. And when I walk, I call it the Waffle House test or the Food Lion test. If I'm at Food Lion or Waffle House and they're like, yo, Mayor, you're crushing it. I'm like, yo, I think I'm doing a really good job. And so I think like people, they feel that it's a new energy here, right? It's a new sort of day and time in Newport News. And I think the team, because it's more than just me on the ballot, it's 3 of my strongest allies are also on the ballot. So it's more than just Phillip is running. I think Team Newport News is running as a team.
You have, again, your position is extremely busy. We're gonna have some fun here. So if I favorite actor, I'm this is gonna be a guess, but like if you had
Denzel. Awesome, he's the GOAT. Is
there any competition? Okay. Got to give the ladies as well. Favorite actress?
Oh, I'm gonna mess this up. This is gonna be played back in like 10 years. They're gonna say I messed this up. I'm gonna say no comment.
It's okay. This is great for the show. It's cool.
I think you know what? Let's go to Oscar. Let's go Halle Berry.
Okay, awesome. What is a go-to show that you're watching when you have free time and you're like, oh, I'm watching this? It could be anything. What are you watching?
Game of Thrones.
You know what? Don't hate me, but I have never seen not a Game of Thrones episode. And look, I'm gonna.
I'm out. I gotta go. I can't even do this anymore.
We can't finish the show up. My apologies. Favorite genre of music that you tune into?
Yeah, I'd say rap and hip hop. A big Earth Gang, J. Cole, that sort of vibe. Yeah, that's me. Kendrick. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Okay, if someone pulls next to you, waiting at a stoplight, what song are they gonna hear you, karaoke in your car? What song are they gonna hear you sing?
Recently, I like Big X the Plug.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like the Biggie of our generation sort. Texas song. Probably some. That's like me going to the gym. Probably one of those songs.
Okay, and look, you've been, again, being transparent. You are a man that stays in shape, right? I need to take some lessons because there was a time where I could say, I was in that fit, but the way the time management skills I gotta improve. What's your favorite workout or body part that you always say, oh, I enjoy doing this?
Easy back.
Okay, which one that you hate that you have to do, but it's a must. You have to get it done.
Deadlifts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like not that flexible. Mobility could always be better. And I would say I have a strong back and chest, and my legs can probably do some work because I'm a runner. So it's hard to like put on mass and run. You got to kind of do one or the other. So
okay. If favorite food, if you had to create your dream meal in front of you, what would that plate consist in?
So most people don't know that, I was born in Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My parents were, there's an Air Force base there, Kadena Air Force Base. And so I would say Japanese food. So that's like your sushi, your teriyaki chicken, your rice. I mean, like your yakudon, that's katsudon, something like that. Yeah.
So I've yet to visit Japan. I had the opportunity.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
It is on my bucket list. I've had the opportunity to visit Vietnam twice. I stayed for like 2 weeks at a time and love the food. And it's so funny because I ate like a pig, but I lost so much weight because it's rice noodles. Like you really man. That is my go-to pho, or again, I'm with you in the realm when it comes to the Japanese, and sushi, of course. Man, what is favorite sport that what's your go-to sport that you?
Yeah, probably basketball, I would say.
Okay, any favorite team that you're always rooting for?
College.
Okay, which was I mean, is it the alumni? Is alumni?
Yes, I think in general, I just like college sports better than the pros. The only pro sport that I'll watch is like the World Cup or like because then to me it's still, the game is still pure. But yeah, I like collegiate sports.
As an elected official, have you ever had do you have an elected figure that you look up to that you would say, oh my gosh, this is my idol in the world of just public service, politics? If so, who is it?
No, that's a really good question. What I would say is that old quote about like you never want to meet your like role models, right? You never want to meet your idols because they always disappoint. So I want to use this time to give a shout out to some local mayors and some. So I think shout out to my two most favorite mayors in Hampton Roads. Mamie Locke used to be the mayor of Hampton. Shout out to
State Senator Mamie Locke. Yep.
Shout out to Senator Locke, and also Molly Ward used to be the mayor of Hampton.
Yes.
So shout out to Molly, and then I would say on the more of the U.S. front, I would say. My fraternity brother, Steve Reed, is the mayor of Montgomery. Shout out to Justin Bibb, mayor of Cleveland. I mean, really, like we have a bunch of millennial mayors under 40. Brandon Scott, mayor of Baltimore. Shout out to all my brothers there. Aaliyah Gaskins, mayor of Alexandria, Virginia. Shout out to all the mayors because I think it's an interesting job. It's very different than being on city council. It's different than being on school board. It's different than being General Assembly. You get blamed for a lot of things. You have your hands in probably 20 different things, but at the end of the day, the people hold you accountable. And so just shout out to those who are in the arena doing the work.
Wonderful. Mr. Mayor, I want to, before we go, I would like to put up your site, if that's okay for folks to continue to get in touch with you, or at least know more about your platform. Before you go, if you don't mind sharing. Especially for the folks of Newport News, why should come November 3rd, they should choose Mayor Phillip Jones to serve another term?
I would say it's really, you can see it at the website, results that you can see and things that you can trust, especially leadership. I think we have made some promises. We have delivered some results, and each and every day, Team Newport News shows up for this community, whether it's a school shooting, whether it's a homicide, whether it's All America City, whether it's a parade or a picnic. Being a public servant is about showing up each and every day. That's it.
Awesome. Mayor Jones, again, I truly appreciate it, my friend. If you don't mind, I would love to chop it up with you just for a couple seconds after the show. But I thank you so much for taking the time out your busy schedule. This was a lot of fun. You always have an open invitation here all times. Like I said, one thing I love about doing this show is the fact that I tell a lot of folks that have served or that's candidates. So I'm like, look, this is where you kick back and you get comfortable. Like shout out, I want to make one more shout out, Congressman Bobby Scott. So I've had the opportunity to meet Congressman Bobby Scott so many times, just like everybody else, because I don't know how he does it, but he's like everywhere, avoiding all the traffic. And I'm like, I don't know how he does it, but when I always get the moment to speak with him, I always tell him like, man, I gotta get you on. And I'm getting close. I'm getting there, but I just tell him like, chillax. It's gonna be a fun time. You're gonna have a great time. But I just wanted to shout out, him again, a Newport News guy as well. And yeah, so I appreciate Mayor Phillip Jones again for coming on. And yeah, best of luck on your campaign. I know the viewers and the listeners, for those that are from the Newport News area, I know are tuning in and have seen those results. So again, I thank you so much, Ms. Mayor.
Thanks, brother. Really appreciate you.
Always, always. Ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed yet another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, stay safe, stay informed, and look, make sure that you do your research on the candidates in this midterm cycle. We got a lot of big elections happening on a federal level and on a local level. And I tell you time and time again, it's so important to know what's going on in your backyard. Local government is key. Okay, local government is key. Remember, you got 3 branches of government, not just on the federal level, you got on the state level, and you got on the local level. So make sure you do your own research. Make sure you stay informed, because you know why? Knowledge is power. So as always, my friends, peace and blessings. Stay safe, stay informed, and I will talk to you soon for another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.